Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be taking a first look at Pamela Milton, who is going to be the next character coming to the League store for season 14. Visually she kind of looks, I don't know, ragged. I didn't think she'd look this way. You see her avatar on the left hand side, she looks a bit more, you know, put together. On the right hand side, it looks like she's been out in the wild for months. And I'm pretty sure she's part of like a massive community. So I'm kind of surprised that she'd be going around like this. She has got a handbag though. So, you know, priorities and everything. She has got a random rifle on her back by the looks of things as well. So we have had a couple of characters where they've got like one weapon type in their hands and one weapon type on their back. So it's kind of interesting visually to see. On the left hand side, the avatar, like I said, a little bit more clean cut, you know, washed face. The suit isn't like completely wrecked. Doesn't look like the ties. It doesn't actually. It looks like the ties kind of loose still. But yeah, as a S class character with 430 veteran rings, she has the stats of 5,245 attack, 3,641 defense, and 3,583 HP. She is considered a support character, and she is of course a fast character holding that knife in her hand on the right hand side. Now I'll take a look at her adrenaline rush, and it is called Befuddling Slashes. It is a 76 AP cost rush, deal 900% damage to up to 2 enemies. Up to 2 enemies get confused for 2 turns. Up to 2 other teammates get 50% AP. So on this rush, being she is considered a support character, that last part is pretty much the only supportive part of it. The rest is damage and control. A pretty decent amount of damage as well. Her attack stat isn't too bad, 5,250 pretty much. But the control is debatable. Well, we're going to test it out, but it's debatable on the wording whether it's going to confuse 2 characters if she takes out 2 characters, or if it only confuses the characters that she rushes. We'll check it out though. Okay, so we are on turn 2. And I can command rush Pamela, and it's quite beneficial to command rush Pamela on turn 2, as you'll see. I'm going to gain some AP somewhere. They have got a little bit of elusive running around, so I'm going to get here on the someone who doesn't have it, which is Princess. You can see that she did have leech life there because I have given her her own knife because I thought that was pretty fitting. We're going to take out Akira up the top. He's an annoying character, trait damage, more likely to take him out. And we're going to see if the confuse confuses other people on takedowns. It should confuse 2 people. Who's it going to confuse? So we're going to take down Akira. We're going to also take down Tara. But it does look like we only confused 1 character. As you can see, it only confuses characters that get hit. Now this might be changed because the wording does make out, to me at least, that it should confuse people just even if, you know, they're taken down. 2 other people should be confused. Kind of like how Jean-Baptiste's rush works. Kind of like how Michonne's rush works, you know, etc. But it doesn't seem to be the case at the moment. Now the reason why it's a good idea to command rush turn 2, look at that. We've got 2 characters getting their natural turn 2 rush. And this is very beneficial, obviously. It means I can start taking out other characters. We're going to take out Pete here. We might be able to take out Princess as well because of the defense down from my alpha, and we've got 1 lonely character left. 1 lonely character left. Whether we can take him down or not is a different question. And we're gonna stun him. So we got a little bit of fortune, but with a 5th character, obviously things will be a bit better lined up. And now you can determine who that AP will go to. So you could have 20% weapons, and you can get AP specifically to a character that you want. Let's say Arav on an attack team to get him a natural turn 2 rush. If he does not get a follow-up in the first turn, that is extremely powerful. So the rush is a little disappointing with the confuse. Now again, like I said, they might fix this. There have been quite a few issues with previous promo characters where some of the effects weren't working properly, and they did get fixed when they were released. We also did have a problem, I think, with Governor, with one of his abilities, and it did get fixed. So this could be something that gets fixed. We'll have to wait and see. But the AP gain alone was nice. You saw that going to both Alpha and Ivanova, and the natural turn 2 rushes is a big bonus. That does mean that you can potentially get a natural turn 2 rush and a command turn 4 rush. So you're rushing twice in the first 4 turns rather than once. Obviously, with the right characters, you could potentially get a natural turn 2 rush for someone like Nor, and then she could take someone out and give other people rushes. The combinations with this character is actually quite good. That last part of the rush, I think, is identical to the last part of S Class Andrea's rush, and that is one of the best parts about Andrea, is the fact that she gives AP to other people. Now we'll go across now to the active skill to see what that has to offer. Focus, crit up, and AP up. It is an initial cooldown of turn 1. It has a cooldown of 4, number of uses 5. This character gets focus, 40 crit for 3 turns, and 50% AP. This means you can just use it off the first turn. This is quite beneficial if you, let's say, miss a disarm and you're coming up against a windowless team. You can guarantee that Pamela's gonna get that AP, and the next turn you can try and disarm someone again, and then that time she can do a basic attack, and then you can command her for turn 2. The 40 crit, as we have talked about before, isn't actually going to make that much of a difference. Unfortunately, it's not going to affect her rush at all, and it has very little impact on her basic attacks because it's only going to affect one basic attack, because it uses up one of the 3 turns on the turn she actually uses her active. It also uses up a turn, and on the next 2 turns she'll probably rush one of those 2 turns. So it's only going to affect 1 turn, and it's just going to be 1 basic attack having 40 extra crit. Did talk about this in the sneak peek video. Would have been much nicer to have like a very small attack buff instead, even as small as 25%. So this time around we're going to come up against a team that obviously has a shield on defense, but we also have a full attack team this time around. So if I look at the characters that I'm coming up against, I would want to disarm the shield personally, and I missed the disarm. This is where, like I said, got absolute defense, impair on defense, stun on defense, or impair on defense here. I don't want to be attacking these characters. It's high risk, and we get ahead of their active skills. So I could do Pamela's active. I give myself focus, and I can now attack behind the shields the next turn. And this character right here, who is Tara, can do a first turn daze. She's not going to be able to block my active because it's before her. I come before her. So we're going to try and get some AP elsewhere and see if we can get lucky. And we are going to get lucky. He hasn't got stun on defense, but let's pretend he did. And I just basically got lucky on the other characters. That's kind of how it goes on some other characters. Now, we've got 2 characters that can gain AP if I just get AP elsewhere. So I'm going to get AP here, and we're going to command her. We're going to take out Tara if we can. Do we do enough damage? We do. And now you can see I get a natural rush on 2 characters, and it's 2 good characters because I've got a defense down and somebody who does heavy damage. So I'm going to try and get rid of this guy here. But damn, he's tanky. We're going to try and nuke now. And this is the power of May. There we go with defense down, guys. I'm telling you, May isn't as bad as people seem to be making out. And then, as you can see, I did get dazed on Ivanova. Now, Ivanova's great with focus. I would normally be able to bypass shields with my entire team, but in this case, Pamela's the one who managed to do that, and this is where I think she can be quite useful. If you do come up against someone like Tara, you're going to be able to bypass. I'm going to try and get a cheeky stun in here. Not going to come in, but because they're defense downs, and because I didn't have to command May, Alpha, and Ivanova, they're getting natural turns now. They're just going to do their natural attacks, and I can just get some extra damage in and take the team out. So the active is not too bad, but like I said, it's a massive missed opportunity, unfortunately, with the crit. It doesn't really add anything, and she doesn't have the hugest amount of attack stat. It's not terrible. It's just about 100 less than Priya, but Priya is kind of borderline on the very lowest of good damage dealers, in my opinion, in terms of attack stat. There are crazy low attack stat characters like Aravs that still do work, so it is possible. She has got a 900% damage hit. You saw she was taking out characters. She did have a little bit of problems with that shield, but so did Alpha. You could see that shields, just because they're defending, they're obviously going to be much harder to take down. And I think that shield also had defense while confused. So once that Pamela actually hit them, the Alpha damage came in and was much more reduced. But the combo there seems pretty good, and you can see how it would work in a team, and you can definitely see why she's a support character. As much as she can do a lot of damage, that AP gain to 2 extra characters is great. And you also saw the fact that she was taking out someone with Outlast and putting them in a confused state. Tara could not do her rush, she was confused, and that's a big benefit of Pamela's rush. Now, she has got a specialist skill, of course, and you might have seen it procking and popping during the little tests of her rush and her active. It is collateral damage too. Now, The biggest issue I find with Collateral Damage 2, well, there's a couple, but one of them is it's not exciting for free to play. This is one we've been given a lot of times, so it's just like, meh. We've got 2 in the gold brick crate. You've got Tyler and we've got James as well. We also, one of those characters is a fast character, so it's almost identical to what Pamela's bringing to the table, a fast collateral damage character that has a reasonably heavy hitting rush. And they're both pretty much the same in terms of they're reasonably heavy hitting. Now, Pamela's is nice because of the support factor, but I think we just need to bring a little bit more excitement into free-to-play. There doesn't have to be anything too over the top as a specialist skill. She could have had Cutthroat 2, giving her extra damage against people who have got debilitating effects on them already. She could have had Confounding, and then it would have worked into her active skill a little bit, because Confounding means on attack you can confuse somebody. Or she could have had maybe Manic. We haven't seen too many Manic characters recently. Manic isn't super powerful either. She needs to have taken some damage already, but that means she could have potentially, in certain scenarios, get a natural turn 2 rush, and that's where it could have been like quite fun. If she managed to get focused on that first turn, she would get a turn 2 natural rush, no commands needed, and that could have been pretty cool. But I just don't think collateral damage is adding anything, unfortunately. Also, Manic would be great for something like SR, just thinking about it, because a character on SR, if they've got Manic and you've got them at like 60% HP, they're going to be gaining 50% AP every turn, so that's going to be pretty cool. So there's a missed opportunity here. I think the rest of the kit's pretty decent, what we've seen with the rush and the active, but the specialist skill was a big miss. The only way they could have fixed this with how her kit works is giving her a multi-hit rush, and that way the crit would have played into one basic attack and the rush, and it would have also played into the fact that the collateral damage would be able to proc when she did her multi-hit rush. But unfortunately, it's not going to be the case. Now, as we saw at the beginning, she does not have an attached weapon, and personally, I always like seeing attached weapon on fast characters, but especially your offensive ones. This Pamela is definitely an attack team fast character as a support character, because the issue is that she's never going to do excess damage based on what you can build in the armory, and there's not much you can build in the armory for fast characters. You know, Man on the Moon does talk about the diamond knife a lot, but that doesn't influence your attack power, it just influences control, and that would definitely be an okay weapon for Pamela, although she will be doing actives turn 1 a lot of the time. I just think that she could have had something extra on the 3rd slot. That's always my thing with fast characters. Promo fast characters and free-to-play fast characters. The 3rd slots and the 4th slots, if you are going to have a weapon that is fast, kind of need to influence damage if it's going to be for a damage dealer, because there's no other way you can get it in the armory. But that does also mean if you've got a weapon already crafted up, you know, you've got that 45-50% attack weapon with 15-35 in the 4th slot, AP on attack, and I don't know what you'd have in the 3rd slot. Maybe, well, it's pretty much just impenetrable defense, unfortunately. There's not much else you could do with a fast character. You could potentially have got lucky and got the double attack Kukri, and that would have been okay for her, but it would not work for her rush. Again, there's just not too many options, unfortunately. But at least you don't have to spend extra armory tokens on this weapon as it stands. So that is S Class Pamela Milton, and she is okay. I think she's pretty decent support character. It's a shame how her rush works with the confuse. I'll try and get that confirmed that it's actually working as intended. I assume it is, unfortunately, even though the wording does not make out that it is working as intended, but I just kind of assume it is. And like I said, with the specialist skill, it just seems like a bit of a miss. But I do think she's going to have some very good usage, and a lot of the reason people like to pick up S Class Andrea is the same reason that, you know, what makes Pamela good is that 50% AP to 2 characters and the nuke that can come afterwards for turn 2. You saw it on that team where I had both Alpha and May, big damage dealers, big defense down, and you saw the nuke that came afterwards. Very nice. However, you may have different thoughts on S Class Pamela Milton. Do leave your comments down below. She will be in the Season 14 Season Store, and she should be the same price as Barker. No announcements otherwise. So she'll be 32,000 season tokens, unless something drastic changes. I do think she's better than Barker in terms of her usability. Barker was a defense team character that wasn't very well built for defense and stats, whereas Pamela does seem like a quite well built attack character, but like I said, a couple of misses, unfortunately. But those are my thoughts. Please do give me yours. Thank you very much for tuning into my video. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.